Hey guys, welcome back. This is HD, and it's time for the second game between Nony and Sen in the HD World Tournament round of 8. Pressure now on the shoulders of Nony to perform, who, as you guys know, if he loses this game, he is out of this tournament. And Sen is, he's got to be going in this game with quite a bit of confidence. In fact, I would say, seeing as how this is the same map as where Sen was able to absolutely demolish and molester Whitera, I think Sen is going to go in here with a lot of confidence on his shoulders rather than pressure, which is what Nony's got right now. Sen is he's just been steamrolling Protosses left and right. Recall when he played against Whitera on this very same map, he just went really aggressive style of play. He just grabbed the early hatchery and then he started creeping, building spine crawlers right at the natural expansion of Whitera, and there wasn't really much Whitera could do about that. So here we are in game number 2, and I think Sen is really, unless he makes a mistake here, unless he really fouls up his play, I just don't see him losing to Nony, even though Nony is a great player. Gotta give credit to where credit's due. Nony is one of the most absolutely best Protoss players in the world, or at least in North America. I hesitate to say the world these days simply because there's so many South Koreans out there that are just scary, just absolutely scary to compare against. So I will refrain from saying that from now on, but Nony is absolutely one of the best Protoss players in North America right now, and I think, if anything, he's one of the players that can take out Sen, but he's gonna have to figure out some kind of strategy to deal with Sen's uber aggressive style. It's almost like you're playing against Jelizerg here, and you gotta be able to play defensively and at the same time not skip out on your macro. You gotta be able to make those probes that you need to handle yourself in the mid to late game, and we'll see if Nony's going to be able to do that. It looks like Sen's going to open up with his early hatchery once again. Both these players spawning right next to each other. And Sen is going to get his drone right into Nony's main here. And immediately scouts out the double geyser. So double geyser doesn't really say too much to Sen. Obviously, Nony has, as a Protoss player, you have a couple strategies you can go with these double gases. Right into Stargate, right into a 4-gate with a heavy emphasis on sentries, or just right into a 3-gate expo with a lot of sentries to defend, and doesn't really tell too much to the Zerg drone. And Sen's going to try to keep this drone alive for as long as possible, especially after that cybernetics core does go down. Meanwhile, Sen also getting his spawning pool back at home, and everything's really looking standard right now. Nothing to give away the strategy for either of these players. If we pull up this APM tab, which I don't really show all too much, we can see that Sen is actually blistering array at 194 APM, currently 220 APM. Nony, not too much of an emphasis on APM, not nearly as much as his Zerg counterpart, and that's something I've actually noticed a lot in StarCraft 2, is all too often Zerg players have the very high APM along with Terrans, and Protoss typically are a little bit more efficient with their APM, and they don't really require nearly as much APM, but that's not to say that they don't require as much skill. I really do feel like Protoss players are a hard race to play, especially with regards to timings. But look at this. It looks like Tyler is going to be going for a Stargate here, and the drone tried to drill into the ramp, and Nony wisely throwing up a force field. Remember, the drones can drill past the Zealot if you click the drone and right-click a mineral patch, and it looks like right now Nony's build is completely disguised and hidden. This is a Stargate, ladies and gentlemen, and remember I was saying Nony had a couple strategies with the double gas. Stargate wasn't one of the strategies I was really expecting. I was saying it was possible, but it does look like Nony is going to go for Phoenix here rather than Void Ray. So Nony is going to try to apply some early pressure, and most likely he is going to, gravitate some drones, do some damage here or there, maybe pick off a couple queens, and then he is going to fall back into an expansion. And this can work out pretty well, especially considering Sen has not scouted this Stargate. He is just now bringing in this lumbering Overlord, and it's just slowly making its way into the main, and it's just going to take so long to get in there and finally see the Phoenix, and Nony is going to be really happy to see that Sen has absolutely no scouting whatsoever. Finally the Overlord gets in here, and Nony's going to be able to take out the Overlord, but is it too late? With 3 Phoenix coming out, Sen now is just scrambling to get some queens out. He already has 1 at the main and 1 at the natural, but I don't think his queens are going to be out in time. He does have quite a few Zerglings on the ground, though, making 12 more Zerglings, in fact. And remember, Nony only has 1 warp gate. so his ground forces are very bleak and meager. Looks like the Phoenix is going to come in here and do some damage. They're going to start to pick off the queens before the sister queen can come out of this hatchery, forcing Sen to actually counterattack with his Zerglings. Now, Nony needs to hold on. He only has a couple of Zealots and Sentries, needs to use his force fields to limit the surface area the Zerglings have, and oh, Nony actually going to GG out of here. Oh man, did not expect a good game that quickly from Nony. And you guys can see Nony was trying to go for the Nexus, and that just didn't really work out, guys. Really, I guess he could have waited on the Nexus, maybe, because this is 400 minerals. That could have been 3 more Zealots, which would have almost certainly been able to turn the tides against this number of Zerglings. But wow, Nony GGing out. Sen just making a counterattack after seeing the Phoenixes, says, hey, I got a ton of Zerglings, and I know your Phoenixes cannot chase down my Zerglings. At least it's not cost efficient for them to use Graviton Beam on Zerglings. So really nice attack by Nony, by Sen against Nony. And now Sen is in the semifinals versus Straylock. So that is going to be, I believe, a Zerg versus Terran. Straylock, I do believe, is a Terran player. And in semifinal B, it is going to be Zoc versus Damaga, I believe. So that's going to be a Zerg versus Protoss. And wow, only 1 Protoss remaining, I believe, in this tournament. Unless Straylock is a Protoss player. I'm pretty sure Straylock is a Terran, but I could be wrong. So, yeah, that's going to be it for the round of 8. And we are now in the semifinals, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. And of course, thank you all for your combined support. I guess I'm going to have a bit of a game coming out after this because this series did end 2-0. So I got to cook something up real quick. Unfortunately, Pain User's not in my hood, so I'm gonna have to figure out something for game 3 here. So thanks a lot, guys. Stay tuned. Semifinals coming up after this. HD signing out.